New from the ABC 7 News I-Team tonight, a winter storm problem that poses a risk for the Oakland Hills during fire season. Good evening, I'm Amma Dates.
And I'm Dan Ashley. Thanks for tuning in. Damage to water pipes is threatening the safety of an Oakland neighborhood, not far from the site of the deadly 1991 firestorm.
I-Team reporter Stephanie Sierra is digging into it, and tonight she's getting some answers. Steph.
Yes, Amma and Dan, this area is already in a high fire danger zone. Pair that with all the overgrown brush, the wildfire threat is high. Yet we found there's no water supply to this field and nearby fire hydrants, an area just a mile away from the origin of the city's deadliest wildfire.
A mile from the origin of Oakland's deadliest wildfire, the 1991 firestorm. Another fire hazard is looming. You can't see it from the pitcher's mound at Caldecott Field or from the outfield as parents watch the games. The only subtle clue? The grass on the newly renovated field, now starting to gray.
A lot of uncertainty if City of Oakland will ever do anything about it.
DeAndre Calhoun is the league president for the North and South Oakland Little League. The league is made up of 1,000 kids who use the field for recreational sports.
So the ground will look like this eventually, right? This is what the outfield will look like if we don't water the field.
But the field's only water source has been cut off.
There's been water on and off at Caldecott. When there's no water, then it's pretty much unusable.
The city's Public Works Department confirmed to the I-Team 2 pipes supplying water to several fire hydrants and the field were damaged during the atmospheric river. Adding the storms resulted in significant sliding activity on the hill that created logistical challenges.
Have you reached out to the city?
Yes, we have.
And
I think no response is probably the most accurate way to reflect that.
That was around 4 months ago. Calhoun says after a half-dozen attempts to get answers from the city's Public Works Department, it's still unclear when the water will be turned back on.
Oh, I see.
The I-Team visited the site and found the pipes aren't even visible. The fire line is severed, and the field coordinator is concerned the backup water tank for the high fire risk area is at risk of collapsing due to erosion from the storms.
They need to get moving on this. It may have been the right thing to do to temporarily turn the water off, but we can't just let it sit and not take action.
Oakland City Council member Dan Kalp represents the area. He says since the hillside is already weakened from the storms, Public Works determined keeping the water off would prevent a safety hazard.
We want to make sure that if there's water flowing in the area, that the water that may be coming from those pipes doesn't add to the risk. That's what they're working on now, is determining whether there's some potential for literally like some kind of, mudslide or landslide.
The irony is preventing this hazard may create another one. A large portion of the area around the North Oakland Regional Sports Center off Highway 24, just north of the Caldecott Tunnel, is in what CAL FIRE defines as a high or very high fire severity zone. To put the threat in perspective, just a mile away is the Oakland Hills Fire Memorial Park.
Oh yes, it's actually right in the middle of the entire firestorm area.
The city's deadliest wildfire started as a grass fire northeast of Highway 24, north of the Caldecott Tunnel. It was extinguished, then reignited, and it didn't take long for burning embers and overgrown vegetation to blow up, pushing flames across several freeways, including Highway 24.
I was here in the 80s and 90s when there were big issues around fire and not having access to the means to put them out.
The city confirmed the water supply is also cut to fire hydrants on the property, except you can barely even see this one, covered in overgrown brush. The field coordinator says he's concerned this will impact other hydrants down the street. Last year, the I-Team requested the total number of hydrant inspections conducted along 46 roads that burned down in the firestorm. We found East Bay Mud only conducted 17 inspections since 2019.
We're in bad shape. And it could lead to disaster.
Will you make it a priority to ensure this gets resolved?
I don't know how long it's going to take, but it is a priority to get it done.
Now, the city's Public Works Department told us they're looking into alternative ways they can source water to the fire hydrants and Caldecott Field, coordinating with both East Bay Mud and the Oakland Fire Department to resolve this as soon as possible. For the I-Team, Stephanie Sierra.